Hey guys, this week we're going to take a look at some resource packs which were released over the past month for Minecraft 1.17.1. I downloaded these packs from CurseForge and PlanetMinecraft, and like always, I'll be doing a video like this every month. If you want to download any of these packs, you can find the links in the description below. Another brick theme pack was recently released, and this one's called BrickCraft. The 64 resolution version of this pack is available for free, but you'll need to subscribe to the developer's Patreon for the higher resolution versions. While it doesn't have LEGO branding anywhere, it's very reminiscent of that style, and lots of work has been done so far. I love how plants look in this pack, but it also includes textures for lots of mobs which have a similar blocky appearance. Cute Azalea boats will make a really nice change to boats. Now they have a roof made from leaves, which I think would go great in tropical theme packs. The packs also make small changes to the textures and model of the boat itself. Detailed bunk beds will change the design of beds so that they're now a lot more 3D, with the supports, mattress, and pillows all looking like separate objects. But as the name suggests, beds can be placed on top of each other to connect them, allowing you to make some great-looking bunk beds. Mushroom and Amethyst tools replaces the texture of your gold, diamond, and netherite tools. They don't look like they're materials anymore, as they look like they're made from red mushrooms, brown mushrooms, and amethysts. Realistic grass does exactly what you'd expect. It implements new grass textures which appear above grass blocks. There's so much more detail, and the pack is available in 1024 resolution for free. But you'll need to sign up to the developer's Patreon for any higher resolutions. I love how it looks, but you might feel a performance hit rendering this much at once. Frosted Elytra wings transforms the textures of the Elytra so they're much colder and actually look like wings. They're pretty cool, but they kinda look like they could be glow squid wings too. Witch Rework really improves witches, giving them a lot more detail. Instead of having a 2D texture, it now looks like they wear full detailed outfits, and you'll also spot them carrying a potion bottle on their hip and a broom on their back. Though the best change comes to the witch's hat, which now has a mouth and it's animated. A witch's cat is also given its own hat, which is a cute feature. Another pack to change boats is boat cars, with it being common to use boats on ice as a quick way of traveling. Switching them to cars makes sense. Each material of a boat is turned into a different color car, and I'm quite surprised at how good it looks. Instead, you can switch up Minecarts with the updated Minecarts pack. Instead of just being a generic gray box, Minecarts have a more rustic and realistic appearance to them, and now being made of both wood and metal instead. If you're a fan of Squid Game, then you might like the Squid Game Mask Pack. It replaces the carved pumpkin texture when it's equipped in your head slot, so your player will be wearing a mask like the ones of the workers. In this case, it is a square. Bones changes all your hostile mobs so that they look like their skeleton, giving them a spooky theme. They won't look like the skeleton mobs. Instead, they look like their flesh has been ripped off, with the shape of each mob still being visible. There's also spooky chickens, which add some different chicken variants. Now they look like they're wearing the masks of some hostile creatures, which looks pretty cute. Minecraft frogs will introduce frogs, which we're going to get in the Wilds update next year. With this pack installed, some rabbits in your world will have a chance of spawning as these frogs to give you a sneak peek. Better Gold Vanilla Plus reworks the textures of gold items in your world. It includes gold ingots, tools, armor, and foods. They have more detail and look more shiny. Willows is a realism type pack which will eventually change everything in the game. Currently, it's the most downloaded pack of the month, and for good reason. The textures look great and mesh together nicely. Right now the pack is available in 64 times resolution, but the developer hopes to make higher versions eventually. Again, some of my favorite changes come to plants and the textures of bricks. Alternatively, there's Gleam Things, which is a lightweight 16 times resolution pack which brings a vibrant and cartoon style to Minecraft. I think this pack would go great in a fantasy RPG world. Most blocks aren't complete yet, so just walking through your world you might not notice a lot of changes. As of right now, it seems the pack is focused on equipment, tools, food, and other items over blocks. But either way, I'm looking forward to the future of this pack. Celestial Tools will change your diamond sword and tools, giving them a more magical theme. Each item will be a different color so that they lose their consistency, but all other tier of items will remain the same. The pack also switches up diamond ores and diamonds to match. You can try out some options from the mob vote, starting with the Allay. It will replace the textures of the parrot. No mechanics or sounds are changed, so you're really only getting a preview. And if you place the Allay on your shoulder, it will revert to the parrot. With Allay being declared the winner of the vote, you'll see this creature added in 1.19. There's also the Copper Golem, another creature from the vote. If you install this pack, then the textures of chickens will be replaced instead. Finally, there's the Glare, which came in third place on the vote. If you wanted to see what this creature might have looked like in the game, then just install this pack, which replaces the model of bees. You change just the black cat using the Witch Hat pack, which you might prefer to changing the witch as well. Axolotl's Remastered changes all 5 of the axolotl textures. Some of them now have themes, like the Piccolotl, which looks like Pikachu, or the Enderlotl, which looks like it could be from the End Dimension. The other 3 make it look like a grass block or just red or blue colored. You can also change the Totem of Undying so that the sound and texture change to look more like the axolotl. To keep up with the Halloween theme, you can also try out the Halloween Paintings pack. It will replace quite a few vanilla paintings while also making them twice the resolution, so you can see more detail. Some of the paintings include ghosts, witches, skeletons, pumpkins, and some even have animations. Another realism-based pack is Optimum, which comes in a few different resolutions. Like some other packs, the 128 resolution version is free. Any higher is available from Patreon. The detail on a lot of these blocks are incredibly high, and they're supposed to replicate their real-life counterparts. There's also some special features like how bananas will grow inside of jungles. You might struggle with a pack like this on lower-end hardware. If you have access to lush caves and drip leaves, then you'll like this next pack. It changes the drip leaf blocks so they now look like a skeletal hand, reaching from the ground. Each piece of stem from the drip leaf will be an extra bone, with the leaf itself being a hand. Biome Variations add some more variants of mobs and blocks, depending on the biome they spawn in. As an example, skeletons and zombies that spawn in jungles will look mossy, like they're covered in plants. Or if you go to snowy biomes, they'll be frozen instead. Stone blocks that you place down in a desert will also look different, with them now having parts covered in sand. This Halloween pack adds lots of holiday-related items, which you can achieve by renaming paper in an anvil. It includes items like pumpkin bowls, candies, ghosts, zombie villager parts, plushies, and more. When you rename the paper, you'll need to place your items inside an item frame to display them in your world, and you can also rotate them. Doors, but Cuter redesigns all of Minecraft's doors, except the Acacia version. They'll retain the colors and basic style, with the biggest change being the cutouts on the doors. There might be hearts, stars, or just circular holes in doors, which give them a bit more character. Pink GUI will make a lot of your interface elements pink in color, which you might like the look of. You'll notice changes in the main menu, your hotbar, your inventory, and other similar elements. There's also pink Enchant. Any items you enchant will now have a pink glint and flashing effect, instead of the purple one that you're used to in the vanilla game. Tool Go Plus starts with a retexture of all your equipment, ranging from wood to netherite. Each texture will receive small changes, with items like wood and stone looking more unreliable, with pieces being tied together. But there's also changes to the spyglass, which looks like it's made from copper, as well as other items like the clock, compass, buckets, and more. The World War I add-on adds lots of war-related content, which is done by renaming existing items. By renaming your armor items, you can give them British, French, German, and Ottoman themes, whereas the crossbow and bow are turned into weapons like the Lee Enfield Lewis gun and C96. It's a pretty impressive pack, and it also includes new melee weapons, grenades, blocks, and even aircraft. It would be great for some role-playing. Villager Go Plus improves on villagers as well as the Iron Golem. The textures of villagers are changed so that they look more detailed, but their hands should now be visible too, whereas model-wise, they should now have visible ears. The Iron Golem looks very different, with it now having a much wider body with its eyes hidden. Space Station Textures introduces lots of textures, which would be great for a science fiction themed world. The textures are all quite minimal in style, so it does kinda match the Among Us style. With it enabled, your world looks a lot colder in color, and you'll notice that creatures like villagers are wearing breathing gear. Most of the interfaces are changed to match the style of the pack, and some blocks are given mechanical themes to them, with some even having animations. I feel like this pack would be better for creating a game mode or mod pack versus a survival playthrough. Connectables change the textures of lots of blocks when they're placed together. It just opens up some new choices when it comes to designs, as the outlines will be removed. Some other smaller changes are made, like to logs which have extended rings, or Prismarine which can be turned into bricks. Cloudy Elytra wings will give your Elytra a white fluffy cloud-like texture instead. It looks nice, and also has a replacement for the broken Elytra. To get into that fall spirit, try out the Autumn Texture Pack. A lot of your foliage should be replaced, making them more orange in color. Your light sources will be changed too, giving them more of an orange tone, which acts like mood lighting. But you'll notice changes in lots of places, like the enchanting table. Shrimp replaces the texture of salmon in your world with shrimp instead. It's just another pack which introduces a new creature, but the mechanics will still be the same. For something bigger than just masks, there's the Squid Game pack. Armor is switched up so that you can dress as a worker, the frontman, or a contestant. Sub-mobs are changed, as skeletons, creepers, and even squids will be textured to look like workers. With cookies, they look like the honeycomb cookies from the show, and using Optifine, you can rename them to change the shapes. Pumpkin Improved GUI changes how the world appears when you're wearing a carved pumpkin. Instead of your vision being blocked, you'll see the outline of a pumpkin instead, making them more viable to wear. Pumpkins Reimagined improves regular pumpkins, carved pumpkins, and jack-o'-lanterns. The biggest change you'll notice is that the face of carved pumpkins has a few different variants. The same goes for when they're turned into jack-o'-lanterns, with them also having more animated faces. With Hats Plus, you could rename carved pumpkins and wear them to try lots of different hats. You can wear items like mustaches, axolotls, buckets, glasses, villager noses, wolf ears, headphones, and a lot more. There's also tailored hats, which adds ocean-themed hats instead. Just like the Hats Plus, you'll need to rename a carved pumpkin to turn it into the fisherman's hat, sailor's hat, captain's cap, pirate hat, and a few others. There's 10 hats in total. Torches Reimagined starts by adding a new fire animation to torches, which looks so much better than the vanilla torches. The model and texture of the block itself is improved too, and when you place them on the wall, they'll be placed inside a wall mount. Prismarine Trident makes some interesting changes to the trident, with it now having a lot more detail and looking more 3D. It kinda looks like a futuristic version of the weapon, which comes from an advanced species. What replaces the texture of this weird creature, which has the head of a villager? I don't know where this might be useful to you, but who knows? Transport Go Plus introduces some new models for boats and minecarts, adding more details like fishing nets and damage to the bottom of boats. Some textures are also changed to transport related items like rails, the elytra, and striders. Decoration Go Plus instead focuses on lots of important blocks. You should be able to notice that changes are made to crafting tables, furnaces, brewing stands, cauldrons, chests, and more. Like similar packs from the Go series, they aim to make the blocks have more details, giving a more immersive experience to your world. Natural Lanterns 3D changes the model and textures of regular lanterns and soul lanterns. Instead, they'll now look like wooden boxes that have small plants inside, being lit up from the lantern above. Amethyst Netherite changes your netherite equipment so that they look like amethyst items instead. You might like it if you want something fresh in your world. And that's most of the resource packs we're going to cover. I'll be doing these videos monthly, and I've already done a few others, so make sure to check those out if you haven't already.